Happy December! Welcome to the weirdest comedy game show online, Balderdash Academy. Tonight we have visiting professor, actor, improviser Ben Rameaka and a special game from our past. But first...
Balderdash Academy, competitive comedy. Good for your health like a yearly colonoscopy. Bring a flask, don't forget your hall pass. If you need a laugh, let me introduce the school staff. Marie Stewart Harmon teaches home economics. See her after class for some home brewed tonics. Sex with me is like Nate Green, cause finishing on top is his normal routine. Coach Steve brings the show's sports knowledge, but he's bad at portmanteaus cause he didn't go to college. Paulie McGill spits words like an Uzi. She wins every game but can't name a single movie. They call him Randy Hunt, the theater guru. He'll always almost win like deja vu do. Carla Rose Dubois, you better watch your back. She's notoriously known for teaching music facts. And Baba Blanc gets no disrespect. Don't talk back, cause he's technically correct. Yes, let's go. Balderdash Academy, baby. Alright, sit down, class is starting.
Balderdash Academy.
Molly, you just barely managed to eke out a win over Steve last month. You won by a single point. So, what are your tactics to hold on to that victory tonight?
I'm just shooting for the moon, and I'm gonna try to go for 2 points this time. Over. Attainable goals. It's attainable goals. Okay.
That's a sound strategy. Yeah. So our visiting professor today is Ben Rameaka. You've seen him on Wolf of Wall Street, Amazon Prime's Alpha House, the Elisa Schlesinger sketch show on Netflix, final season of Broad City. You've heard him on your TV, on streaming services. Ben, welcome to Balderdash Academy.
What a real pleasure to be here in December. You know, winter in New England is definitely my favorite season.
Which you grew up in New England. You're a New Englander.
Yeah, I'm kind of a bit of like a New England state mutt. I was born in Rhode Island, but raised in Vermont. So I like beef jerky and Ben & Jerry's, but I'm also insanely corrupt. So.
Which is good. Yeah. I mean, it's good to have that spread on the New England feel, you know? Yeah.
Which is why you're now in New York, right?
That's right. They made me leave. They said, you can't be here anymore. We don't need another Buddy Cianci, if you know that topical reference. I don't.
Now, for those new to our show, Ben has agreed to be the scorekeeper tonight while our faculty competes for the coveted reigning champion banner. Now, our faculty will divvy out their expertise, and at the end of which, Ben will award points to the competitor he feels is most worthy. He is not looking for the correct answer. I mean, he's probably not going to find the correct answer, but he's looking for the best answer, the answer that should be correct, but isn't. The points are arbitrary and can be given to anyone at any time for any reason. At the end of the show, the faculty member with the highest point total will be named the reigning champion. Because that's how math works. So, our first game today is a blast from the past. It is a fan favorite. And this is the first time we're doing it this way. We're about to play Lie Again. Now, I will present a weird or unusual fact about a select member of the faculty. The statement can be the truth or it can be a lie. Faculty members may question the subject to better understand whether or not the statement is the truth or a lie. And either way, the subject must convince everyone that the unusual fact is true, no matter how absurd it sounds. At the end, Ben will award points as he sees fit. So, tonight's truth is about our visiting professor.
Oh.
Ben once voiced an animated three-legged dog in College Humor's WTF 101.
Holy cow.
So there we go. That is the statement. I'm sorry. I mean, I knew it was a secret, but I had to just drop that, Ben. Ben will defend why this is true, and it is up to our faculty to figure out whether or not this is a truth or a lie. Let's start with the first line of questioning. Molly.
What was said three-letter dog character's name?
The dog character's name was Mona.
Mona.
Whoa.
Short for Desdemona, which means in Greek, ill-fated.
Ooh.
3 legs, ill-fated.
3 legs.
Yeah. Nate, what do you got?
What did Mona do to her 4th leg? Like, where is it?
Yeah. Where'd that 4th leg
Where
go?
is that for? It's probably decomposing in a landfill right now.
Oh God.
Not helpful to Mona.
That's fair. That sounds true. Okay, I'm convinced so far.
All right.
Go ahead, Molly.
Could you give us a taste of Mona's voice there? Can you pull that
sure,
from
no
the
problem.
archives?
Sure, yeah. It was something like this. A bit of an older British lady, Mona.
Okay, so I'm feeling that that's maybe a Yorkie. What kind of dog was this 3-legged Mona?
So she was a shepherd mix, but on the smaller side. So not quite super Yorkie. Think more, another topical reference, a play from the early 1900s, Silver Foxes. Think Silver Foxes.
Yes, I'm quite familiar.
How about if Golden Girls was made in the 30s?
Okay.
That's a good premise. I like that. What kind of misadventures did Mona get into in this episode?
They're very simple and down to earth. The difficulties of wiping your mouth. I should say that the leg was missing in the front.
Okay.
Yes. That would make mouth wiping difficult.
Yes. The difficulties of digging into, say, a rawhide or a nylabone, because there's there's not something to press against. It has to be finessed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mostly eating, chewing mishaps.
Okay.
How embarrassing it is to go out when you're a dog and be asked to either shake or high five.
Poor Mona.
Tragic.
Yeah, that's tough, right?
So, Mona, you described her as an older dog. What was her early life like?
Fairly
What's some of
pastoral.
her backstory? Oh,
Sure. Nate, I thank you so much for asking that. But much like your last name, it was pastoral and verdant. She grew up in Pennsylvania on the western side, but don't think that she was conservative politically. I know that western Pennsylvania can get a little Ohio-ish. Nothing against Ohio. Nothing against Ohio. I'm not going to go through that again. But yeah, she grew up in like sort of almost like very green, pastoral, rolling hills, Anne of Green Gables type, which you know, right? Because you're Gables.
Ben, how did you fall into this amazing role of a lifetime?
Believe it or not, it turns out that I knew the person who was the producer, and they thought that themselves. We need someone who is not only mentally damaged, but, or has experienced emotional difficulties in their life, but also is physically incapable. And I'm a terrible, terrible athlete. And everyone else before me, I think there were 11 people, said no. So maybe the last part. Now that I think about it, the last part might be the primary reason, but I choose to believe.
Was this Go ahead, Steve.
Ben, what kind of prep did you do to get into this role? I'm kind of curious about that.
Yeah, a lot of jumping on one leg, a lot of laying down. I still have a couple lawsuits pending because I sniffed a lot of butts, Steve, which I thought would get me into the role, but it turns out that this is a long time ago, as Bob said, and things have changed, and they should. Well, they should. But consent is a big part of how we should operate on a daily basis, and I made some mistakes.
So they were human butts.
Oh, was I not clear about that?
No, I
Important details.
Now, weirdly, the dog butts, they were like, people like that.
If Mona were a golden girl, which one would she be?
Ooh, good one.
Great
good question.
Bob, when can I I can give points at any point. Are we giving points now?
You want to give a point? Give a point, yeah.
Oh man, I'd love to give everybody a baseline of 20 points.
Baseline 20. Woo!
And I'm gonna bump Marie up a quick 10 right there for that Golden Girl question. That's
10
great.
Get it,
points.
Marie.
Thank you.
Marie, you might have to help me out. Estelle Getty's character was
Sophia?
named Sophia.
Oh, yep. Yep.
Throw a 5 to Molly for the
There
Sophia.
you go.
All right.
Yeah, sagacious, wise, but also like a little bit cranky.
Yeah.
Sophia was definitely like the old man in the Muppets, right? She was up above it all, and always had a wise crack. I feel like Mona's character in this was much akin to that.
I dig that.
I have my last question for you, Ben.
All right.
Okay.
Was this role before or after 3D Burrito, the short film that you were in?
3D Burrito. It was shortly before. So strangely enough, on the shoot with Mona, or the VO with Mona rather, which is a shoot, of course. There was a couple. The DP was doing his own thing that he brought me into. He said I had this great idea. I gave him my information. I was like, of 3D Burrito, get the hell out of here! Like, you know who I am? No way.
I'm Mona.
That's right. I'm Mona. And I was also just because it was a white dude, and I was like, Burrito, let's just be careful with the subject matter. But it turned out it was handled really, really well, and that the burrito was in fact 3-dimensional, visually, but also emotionally, culturally.
Love that.
All right. Any other questions before we get our conclusions?
Nope.
All right. So you've heard what Ben said. You've heard him defend his position. Molly, is it the truth or a lie?
As much as I wish this was the truth, and I do see this in the future coming out, I'm sure somebody listening right now is writing the screenplay, and you might even star in person in it. But I do believe right now it is only aspirational, and it is in fact a lie.
All right, Steve, what's your call?
Oh man, yeah. Again, you want it to be true, right? A three-legged dog named Mona. But I think what happened was Ben saw my cat in the background here, also named Mona, and somehow the universe connected to his brain.
Convergence. It's
Yeah, a little
convergence, man.
Yep. So just based on that and the 3D burrito thing, it seemed like he was maybe kind of busy at the time doing voiceovers for
Burrito
food.
business.
I'm gonna say it's a lie.
All right. So, Marie, Steve dropped a lie with a question mark. What do you got?
I also really, really want this to be true because I would watch this. I'm gonna go with it's the truth. I think that Ben very well could have played a 3-legged, sweet little old lady shepherd rescue dog.
All right, Nate.
Honestly, I mean, look at that face. How can it be anything but the truth? And I do mean but because he went around sniffing butts. In fact, not only do I believe it to be true, but I sincerely hope that Disney makes a live-action adaptation out of it. That would be. I don't care if it's Disney Plus or.
Yeah.
Like a Shaggy Dog
Breathe
scenario?
Deeply, the Mona story.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So, Ben, you've heard their conclusions. We have Molly with a lie, Steve with a lie, Nate with the truth, Marie with the truth. Are there any additional points you'd like to give?
I want to do 7 across the board. And Steve, you have a cat named Mona?
Yep, there she is right there.
Oh my gosh. Can we give 12 points to Mona?
Yeah.
That's fair.
You
Look
got
at her.
it. 12
She's so
to Mona.
excited.
Seems fair.
Oh, I love that.
All right. 12 points for Mona. So, what do you think the answer is? I'm not going to tell you right now. Neither's Ben. Let us know and check back after 4 questions to find out, because that's how clickbait works. Our visiting professor tonight is Ben Rameaka. Ben is a New England-raised graduate of the University of Vermont. He moved to New York City to attend the Actors Studio MFA program. He was a longtime improviser and teacher at UCB in New York City. He can be seen and heard on your TV, streaming services, in commercials, voiceovers. He currently calls Brooklyn his home, so you have all you need to do to stalk. Ben! Thanks for coming on the show.
Yay.
You know, we love doing our research for this and watching everything that you're in. I'd watched Alpha House when it first came out. Your character killed me the first time around.
Oh, thank you very much.
That like Broken Innocence is perfect. So there's a particular scene in that if you haven't seen Alpha House, you have to go watch a series. It's currently on, I believe it's available on Prime.
Yep.
You got to go check it out. It's killer. It's
really funny.
You might have missed it. It's good. But so you've done movies, TV shows, you've done audio projects, you've done long form improv.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a diverse career. What's your favorite? Where does your passion lie? If you could do anything you want to do tomorrow artistically, what would it be?
Balderdash Academy.
Voiceover of Mona.
Again.
That's really, really tough. If I could do anything, there's a couple projects I've worked on that were like for film or TV that I felt were really creatively fulfilling, and you were allowed to play a lot on set. Yeah. And in case you don't know what that means, it means like, when you shoot certain things, you have to stick to the lines. The director wants it a certain way. Egos are big. There's been a couple projects down the way in the past where I was able to, you just kind of want one take for you. Like, even if it doesn't get used, if someone can be like, why don't you play? You're like, oh, yes, let me play a little bit. So there's been a few of those that I really wish had gone to series, for instance, or been picked up by Comedy Central. That didn't. That'd be nice. But you know what? I would be perfectly content making money, doing commercial work, and being able to improvise, every once in a while. Like, I feel like, I remember when I got to graduate school and I was doing like these plays in like tiny little black box theaters in New York City that no one would come to. Real weird shit. And I pivoted towards doing long form improv at UCB, and a friend that was in the play said, why did you make the move towards comedy? And I said, well, I realized that I didn't want to make people cry. I wanted to make them laugh. And you can do both. You can do both, certainly, in different mediums. But, I think that there's a different response you can elicit in those different areas. And, to get the response from improvising, as I'm sure all of you guys have heard about as professors, are well-studied. There's nothing quite like it, So, I would say first, a great TV show, a great comedic TV show, something that really resonates with people. And then if that couldn't happen, keep on making money, but still be able to improvise in a live setting doing comedy. So,
yeah. I mean, there's nothing better than that instant connection.
Nothing. Really. Yeah. And improv, if I may go on a little bit longer, improv, I think is special because it is communal and it is an in-joke, and it's gone after that. It's gone. You have this shared moment, it's ephemeral, and then it disappears. There's something sweet about that, I think.
Yeah, and you were in Vermont last weekend doing just that.
I was in Vermont in October, I think you mean.
Oh, yes, in October.
So close, Molly.
It felt like yesterday.
It felt like this past weekend to me. I was
November
there.
just flew by.
It flew by. I'm still working off the pounds, but it did fly by. I did some shows in Vermont, which was wonderful, especially as I know you guys have heard about since you study local improv scenes. After the pandemic and not being able to perform for a long time, you want, you have that back. It was really nice. And I did like a quick earnest speech in the second half, and I got a little bit more choked up than I thought I would be.
What kept you sane during the downtime from the pandemic?
Wine. Wine,
good answer.
fast forward juice. I call it fast forward juice.
Wow. I might steal that. That's really good.
And I perfected like my lasagna, my beef bourguignon, my jambalaya. I refuse to do the sourdough bread starter. I didn't do that. No, if you did, no shame. But I like focused sort of on cooking a lot.
Nice.
I tried the sour lasagna starter. It was not a success.
That's when you use sour cream instead of like lots of.
When you do too much forget juice and you wake up 2 weeks later and you're like, what the hell is this on the stove?
But you eat it anyways.
That's why they make an oven. All right, join us when we return for 4 questions and the answer to Lie Again here on Balderdash Academy. Go Dashers! Woo! Remember to like and subscribe to the video. Also remember that we have options available if you'd like to support the show directly. You can show your school pride by picking up some merch from our store. We are also now booking live shows. So if you want a game show experience, a quiz show, improv comedy, you can find us all online at balderdashacademy.com. It's been a pleasure. Have a good night.
2-finger salute.
Go Dashers!